If you clicked on this video, you're probably a busy guy, so I'm just gonna get straight into the point. This video is about fat loss, but for busy people. You're not too busy in reality, you're just unstructured. And this video, I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as possible and as quick as possible because you're a busy guy. So yeah, why should you guys listen to me? That's a great question, and I'm gonna tell you right now. This was my transformation while being a part-time student and a part-time worker. So this was me a couple years back when I was a part-time student, part-time worker, and this was my mindset. I kept telling myself, I have no time, I'm too tired after work, I don't know what to eat, I'm not motivated. Even though I knew I wasn't supposed to rely on motivation, I still said I wasn't motivated. And look where it got me. Double chin, chubby cheeks. This was me during my skinny fat stage. I'll show you guys right now how I was. This was me when I was like 215, 210, saggy tits. You could tell how big I was with my body. The saggy tits get me every single time. And look at this tremendous double chin. Insane. So yeah, it was bad. And that mindset of telling myself I have no time, I'm too tired, I don't know what to eat, I'm not motivated. Having that mindset just destroyed me. See no progress, because that's all I was thinking about. Those were all the excuses I was talking about all the time. Fast forward a couple years, this is me now. I have abs, ooh, nice V-taper look, right? I'm leaner, right? I have better jawline. I have cheekbones, right? I look more attractive. I would say I look more attractive than I was before. And this is my physique now. It's a much respectable physique, obviously, than the one we saw before. I have a V-taper look, broad shoulders, nice chest. I love my chest. It's like my strong point. And yep, V-taper, broad shoulders, and I actually have striations on my chest. Overall, you know, over here on this side, I feel more confident. You know, I'm respecting more. You know, I just feel confident in my skin. I don't hate what I see because, you know, if I'm being honest, when I was on, you know, this side looking like this kid, I hated what I saw in the mirror. I felt unconfident. I was insecure and all that. And, you know, the mindset I had in order to make this transformation wasn't an excuse. It was telling myself I wanted change. And I'll do anything in order to do so. And by anything, I mean, I'll make time. I'll make time to go to the gym. I'll make time to eat healthy food. I'll make time to go on a run, go on a walk. All of these changes came after having that mindset shift. All right, and this is a problem for most people. You know, most people fail because they think they don't have time, like I just said. They try to fit fitness into chaos. Get it? All right. They overcomplicate the process and they fully rely on motivation instead of systems. The truth is, you don't need more time. You just need a plan that fits your time. And the truth is, there's no such thing as finding time, right? Because we all have time in reality. But there is a such thing, and we're supposed to make time, not find time. All right, and we'll go straight into it. This is the formula I implemented in order to make that transformation, and you guys could probably most likely do the same thing as well. First thing we need to lock in is our nutrition. And, you know, simplicity over everything. You don't need to overcomplicate nutrition, and that's something I say a lot in my Instagram. You know, simplicity is key. What do I mean by simplicity? Well, firstly, having 3 main meals and then 1 snack. So technically 4 meals a day in total. That's not a lot of meals. You could have breakfast, bring lunch to your job, and then dinner at home, and then 1 snack before you go to bed, something like that. Making sure to keep your protein high, at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein every single day, in order to build muscle and in order to stay full, satiated, because that's what protein does. And lastly, reuse the same meals. And I don't want to hear you say, I'm going to get bored of these meals if I keep eating them over and over. Well, first of all, you could change little things. You know, you don't have to have your eggs the same way every single day. You don't have to, you know, have the same side of fruit, same side of vegetables. You can make small adjustments. Even the protein, you could switch the chicken for beef. You could switch the beef for salmon. You could switch the salmon for, you know, tuna, sardines. Well, probably not sardines, but you know what I'm saying? Like, these small changes help out a lot. And the reason why I say reuse meals, the same meals, first of all, it just simplifies everything and it makes it much easier. And you know, if you ask me, I look forward to the same meals I eat every single day. I look forward to them. So when I say reuse the same meals, find meals you enjoy and then repeat them and then make those small adjustments, like switching the side of fruit, switching the side of vegetables. Then you could go into the protein, switching the protein, you know, if you get bored of the protein. But the point is, have the same structure of each meal and then be able to repeat it over and over every single day. So this is just an example of how I would usually structure my meals. I would have breakfast, right? These are animal-based pancakes. Then I would have lunch. Either you go back home, make lunch, or you know, you bring lunch to your job. You can make hard-boiled eggs instead of sunny side up eggs. Bring a side of fruit and sourdough bread. Boom, simple. Come home, make dinner, steak, avocado, eggs, you know, side of fruit, main protein source, also main protein source. And then at night, before you go to bed, have a nice snack. This is a Greek yogurt bowl. Make sure the snack is still high on protein. Therefore, you build muscle while you go to sleep and you reach your protein goal, and you also stay, you know, full and satiated, because that's what protein does. This is a Greek yogurt bowl with a side of fruit and honey on top. Okay, so that's the nutrition side of the formula. The next step would be training. And once again, you don't have to overcomplicate training, just as you don't have to overcomplicate nutrition. Make sure your training is efficient and effective. How do we make sure our training is efficient and effective? We'll get straight into it right now. Find a split that you could do. Everyone works different jobs. Everyone works different times. Go based off your schedule. Have 45 minutes every single day dedicated to the gym. And don't tell me you don't have 45 minutes every single day. Some days of the weeks, at least 3 to 4 days of the week, because that is complete bullcrap. You have 45 minutes, at least 30 minutes to go to the gym and hit the gym. And don't tell me you don't. So this is what, you know, I kind of came up with someone who is possibly working a typical 9-to-5 job. Monday, we'll take it easy as an active rest day. What do I mean by active rest day? I don't want you sitting on your couch all day. I don't want you sitting on your couch all day. I want you to go on a walk, you know, go around the park, walk around the park, walk with your kids, walk with your dog, walk with your wife. Make sure you're active. Make sure you're not, you know, when you come home from work, flopping on the couch, turning on the television and watching television until you go to sleep at night. Do something from 5 to 9. The next day would be Tuesday, and it would be an upper body day. So, you know, upper body day would be back, shoulder, chest, triceps, biceps, all this. And then that'd be right after you come home from work. And the next day, Wednesday, would be a lower day, right? Legs, glutes, hamstrings, quads, all that. Then the next day, Thursday, would also be another active rest day. Make sure you're walking, make sure you're walking around. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Take it light, take it easy. You're probably tired from work. And I'm not telling you to, you know, go on runs. That would be, you know, that would be a workout session. That wouldn't be an active rest day. And then same thing, repeat for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah, have 3 to 4 workouts, because that's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need more than 3 to 4 workouts in a week. If you have time, if you want to challenge yourself, and that's amazing. Go for it. Go for, you know, 6 workouts a week. But, you know, some people are genuinely busy. Some people want to spend time with their family, and I get that. You could still, if you could still squeeze in, you know, workouts on your rest days, then I would do it 100%. Prioritize compound lifts. What are compound lifts? Squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, barbell rows. Those are all compound lifts. And how I have them here is you're doing 2 sets of everything, just 2 sets. You could possibly do 1 set of something, probably 1 set, you know, of overhead press, you know, or, you know, 1 set of deadlift. Probably not deadlift, but, you know, because you have to warm up in deadlift. But you don't have to do 2 sets of everything. As long as you're taking every single set till failure, then that's all that really matters, till failure. And, you know, I have the number 8 here for the reps. Those are just a guideline. If you go over 8, if you go over, you know, 10 like this one, if you go over 8 or 10, depending on whichever workout you're doing, then you should stop doing that weight, up the weight, until you reach 8, you know, or less than 8, struggling. The 8th rep should be you like literally fighting for your life. If you're not fighting for your life, then the weight is too easy and you need to up the weight. That is what we're gonna get into right now. That would be called progressive overload. So for example, I would personally, you know, go on your phone, go on a notebook, iPad, bring it to the gym, and then write down the amount of weight you're doing for each workout. For example, for squat on, week 1, you did 225 pounds. Next week, week 2, you would aim for 230 pounds, for an extra rep or an extra 2 reps. But the point is, you're up in the weight. Same thing for bench. Week 1, you did 195 pounds. Week 2, let's try, challenge ourselves. 205 pounds, Maybe it doesn't happen on the second week. Maybe it would happen on, probably, week 5. It doesn't have to be directly the next week. It could happen over time. But that's the point of, tracking your weight, tracking how much you're doing, how many reps. It's not just the weights, but it's also reps as well. I got a typo right here. I didn't even notice, but let's pretend that's. So yeah, let's say, for example, it could also be reps as well. For example, on deadlifts, let's say for week 1, you did, let me make some more space. For week 1, you did, 6 reps for 375. You're gonna be a tank, absolute tank if you do that for 6. And then week 2, you try to go for 7. And if you can't go for 7 on week 2 and week 3, you would go for 7 still. If you could get it for 7 on week 3, then week 4, you go for 8. And then once you hit 8 reps, I would up the weight by, 5 pounds, or 10 pounds, do 385, right? And you keep repeating that same process over and over. And the same thing goes for overhead press and barbell row. Nothing different there. And remember how I said on your active rest days, I want you to walk at the park with your family, with your dog. I want you to get 8 to 10,000 steps, because the more, steps you have throughout the day, the more calories you are burning. The more calories you are burning, the more food you're able to eat on a calorie deficit, or, the more calories you're burning, the more fat you're burning, obviously. And that's the training aspect of it. A lot of people overlook this next one, and it's extremely important, and it's recovery and accountability. Once again, this is extremely simple, and I could go over it in 30 seconds. I have 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single day, non-negotiable. If you get less than 7 hours of sleep, you're not building muscle. Simple as that. Track for awareness, not obsession. I remember I was tracking, my sleep for a while, and every time I would get less than 7 hours of sleep, my day would feel complete garbage. It would feel like complete garbage. So yeah, don't obsess over getting 7-9 hours of sleep every single day. There are times where you possibly can't because you're on a road trip or something, whatever it may be. Don't make it rule your whole life. And remember, consistency is key, but not perfect. We're human. There's going to be some days where we can't get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and it's not going to completely kill your progress. If you do make it a habit, then that's when it's going to be a problem. But if on some days you can't, get those 7 or 9 hours of sleep, then that's completely fine. It's completely fine. All right, these are just common excuses I hear people say a lot of times. And I used to say it too when I was 210 pounds. I would say I have no time. But in reality, you have 24 hours. You just don't schedule it. You don't schedule the time to go to the gym. You don't schedule the time to go on a walk, to go on a run. You just come home, flop on the couch, and watch television. That's your whole schedule. You say you're too tired. Well, poor sleep plus a poor diet makes you tired. There's so many men out there that work for so long that, do this for a long period of time and they're not tired. And if you're tired, so what? When you're that healthier version of yourself, when you're more fit, more confident, you're going to be tired sometimes, and you're not going to want to go to the gym, go on a walk, go on a run. But guess what? He still does it. He still does it because he knows when he steps out of his comfort zone, when he does things when he's tired, that's when he's going to see growth. And that's when you'll see growth as well. Some people say they don't know what to eat, but you do. You just don't plan it. Like I said, same thing with schedule, same thing with time. You just don't plan it. Simple as that. And social media is free. My page is free. I show you guys meals sometimes, and you guys can follow that. And last excuse, and it really gets me mad, is people say they have no motivation. I don't have to write anything down over here because I'm sure you don't rely on motivation. Not once in those 3 years, have I relied on purely motivation for months. Probably one day, great. You have a motivation spike and you go to the gym. But if you have that as your driver, your main reason you go to the gym, then you're not going to see any progress, because motivation comes and goes. And I'm sure every single person knows that. Okay, and like I said, I talked about schedule a lot. So let me give you guys, a simple 9 to 5 schedule. Wake up in the morning around, 5:30, 5 a.m. Yes, wake up at 5 a.m. You can wake up at 5 a.m. You hit the gym at 6 a.m. Takes you, let's say 10 minutes, however long it takes you, depending on how long it takes you to go to the gym. You schedule, what time to wake up to get there in time, but make sure you're getting at least 7 hours of sleep. You go to the gym, and then you come back home around 7 a.m., make breakfast, meal prep for your job. You bring lunch to your job, and then you get to work, 9 a.m., cool, you're there. Whatever time your lunch break is, you have your second meal of the day. And like I said, go on a walk during your break while you're eating the meal, right? Or after you eat the meal. But it's great, adds to your daily step count, reduces stress and anxiety. I'm sure if you're working, you'd be stressed out of your mind. Adds to your daily step count, and it helps digest the food that you just ate. 6 p.m., you come home, you eat dinner, that'll be your third meal. And then around, after you finish eating dinner, whatever time it may be, you go on a walk and you eat your snack. Simple as that. And around 9 p.m., or technically around, we'll say 8 p.m., you start winding down to go to sleep. Make sure you have a night routine. If you don't have that set, I would watch my previous YouTube video on habits that I implemented to improve my sleep, and you guys should do it as well. Especially if you're a busy 9 to 5 worker and you're tired most of the time. I would start implementing those habits as well. And one last thing I want to touch on before I end the video, because this is the last thing I want to touch on, it's a mindset shift. You're not going to make change if you're in the same mindset of, naming all these excuses, of saying you don't have time, you're too tired, you don't know what to eat, you have no motivation. No. And I said this in the beginning of the video, it's not about finding time. It's about making time, because we all have time. We all have time. And if you really want change, then you would make time. When you make the time in order to go to the gym, to go on a run, and when you make the time to go in the gym, and then when you make the time to go to the gym, to go on a run, to go on a walk, you'll never regret doing all that work in order to change your body. Because when you become that second version of yourself, you've been always chasing, you won't regret all the work you put in. And, at the end of it, you'll thank your past self for actually making that step to improving himself, to making time, to not finding time. And if you don't end up making the time, you'll regret wasting years, feeling tired, insecure, or overweight. Be the man who leads by example, not by excuses. If you're a man and you're giving excuses, then how can you really call yourself a man? And you're showing that example of giving excuses to your kids, your family, your wife, and your wife does not want to see a weak man who just uses excuses over and over. She wants to see a man who leads by example, shows up to the gym, takes care of the family while taking care of himself, while taking care of the job, while taking care of the house, the bills. Because that's what men are supposed to do, not use their family as excuses. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I know I said I was going to do it quick, but all this is extremely worth it. Start implementing all the things I went over, and you'll see change. Well, make sure you actually want it. Make sure you actually want it. Make sure you actually want the change. Because if you don't deeply want it, then you're not going to see change. That's pretty much it. If you guys found this helpful, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate the support. I'll have my Instagram linked down below. I give pretty helpful advice on there as well. So make sure to follow for daily tips and just to know more about me. So if you found this video helpful, if you found my advice helpful, I'll have a link down below if you want to work with me. You could also find me on Instagram. You could DM me there if you have any questions, or if you want to work with me as well. We'll have a video chat just like this. We'll talk about your goals, what you're struggling with, and we'll see if you're a right fit to work with me. And if not, make sure to follow my YouTube channel so you could keep on learning every single week, or follow my Instagram so you can keep on learning every single day. It's up to you. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here, and yeah, peace out.